Hey, hello, and welcome to Lesson 126 in A Course in Miracles. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today's lesson is All that I give is given to myself. Today's idea, completely alien to the ego and the thinking of the world, is crucial to the thought reversal that this course will bring about. If you believed this statement, there would be no problem in complete forgiveness, certainty of goal, and sheer direction. You would understand the means by which salvation comes to you, and you would not hesitate to use it now. Let us consider what you do believe in place of this idea. It seems to you that other people are apart from you and able to behave in ways which have no bearing on your thoughts, nor yours on theirs. Therefore, your attitudes have no effect on them, and their appeals for help are not in any way related to your own. You further think that they can sin without affecting your perception of yourself, while you can judge their sin and yet remain apart from condemnation and at peace. When you forgive a sin, there is no gain to you directly. You give charity to one unworthy merely to point out that you are better or on a higher plane than he whom you forgive. He has not earned your charitable tolerance, which you bestow on one unworthy of the gift, because his sins have lowered him beneath a true equality with you. He has no claim on your forgiveness. It holds out a gift to him, but hardly to yourself. Thus is forgiveness basically unsound, a charitable whim, benevolent yet undeserved, a gift bestowed at other times withheld. Unmerited, withholding it is just, nor is it fair that you should suffer when it is withheld. The sin that you forgive is not your own. Someone apart from you committed it. And if you then are gracious unto him by giving him what he does not deserve, the gift is no more yours than was his sin. If this be true, forgiveness has no grounds on which to rest dependably and sure. It is an eccentricity in which you sometimes choose to give indulgently an undeserved reprieve. Yet it remains your right to let the sinner not escape the justified repayment for his sin. Think you the Lord of heaven would allow the world's salvation to depend on this? Would not his care for you be small indeed if your salvation rested on a whim? You do not understand forgiveness. As you see it, it is but a check upon overt attack without requiring correction in your mind. It cannot give you peace as you perceive it. It is not a means for your release from what you see in someone other than yourself. It has no power to restore your unity with him to your awareness. It is not what God intended it to be for you. Not having given him the gift he asks for you, you cannot recognize his gifts and think he has not given them to you. Yet, would he ask you for a gift unless it was for you? Could he be satisfied with empty gestures and evaluate such petty gifts as worthy of his son? Salvation is a better gift than this, and true forgiveness, as the means by which it is attained, must heal the mind that gives, for giving is receiving. What remains as unreceived has not been given, but what has been given must have been received. Today we try to understand the truth that giver and receiver are the same. You will need help to make this meaningful because it is so alien to the thoughts to which you are accustomed. But the help you need is there, help with a capital H. Give him your faith today and ask him that he share your practicing in truth today. And if you only catch a tiny glimpse of the release that lies in the idea we practice for today, this is a day of glory for the world. Give 15 minutes twice today to the attempt to understand today's idea. It is the thought by which forgiveness takes its proper place in your priorities. It is the thought that will release your mind from every bar to what forgiveness means and let you realize its worth to you. In silence, close your eyes upon the world that does not understand forgiveness and seek sanctuary in the quiet place where thoughts are changed and false beliefs are laid by. Repeat today's idea and ask for help in understanding what it really means. Be willing to be taught. Be glad to hear the voice of truth and healing speak to you, and you will understand the words that he speaks and recognize he speaks your words to you. As often as you can, remind yourself you have a goal today, an aim which makes this day of special value to yourself and all your brothers. Do not let your mind forget this goal for long, but tell yourself, all that I give is given to myself. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now, and I will trust in him. Then spend a quiet moment opening your mind to his correction and his love. And what you hear of him, you will believe, for what he gives will be received by you. And that is the end of lesson 126. All that I give is given to myself. It emphasizes in here that it is one of the hardest concepts to understand, that forgiveness is not letting someone off scot-free. It's not pardoning them from some evil thing that they did. It's the acknowledgement that none of this is actually real and that we are projecting things and we are hurting ourselves. We are giving ourselves the love that we so desperately seek. We are giving ourselves the correction and the peace that we so desperately seek by forgiving others. And one of the ways that I tend to think of this is when you hold a grudge from somebody and you are unforgiving, it's too much to forgive them. They've caused me too much pain. Most of the times when we have situations that are that intense, we are not interacting with that person on a daily basis anymore. And so we are feeling a daily angst, a daily pain. We are reliving a moment or situation over and over again. That other person is not in the room with us, and they are no longer injuring us the way that we think that they were. And if we really pause and look, we can understand that we are the ones that are beating ourselves up with that, holding on to that non-present situation. We are holding on to a past and we just keep accessing. It's like picking away at a wound. We keep opening it up and looking at it and remembering how awful it was and picking at it. And we never allow it to heal. And we get to a place finally where we decide that we don't want to carry that burden anymore, that we don't want to deal with that wound in the same way anymore. And so we choose to sort of let it go and to just lay down that burden, put the backpack of that down. And when we leave that alone for a little bit, we give it natural healing. But what happens in our mind is we no longer carry that around. And so we don't suffer because we are not tormenting ourselves. And so as we give forgiveness, as we understand that that was the best somebody could do, and they were attacking or defending themselves in the same moment, we don't have to carry those things anymore. And so we give ourselves, forgiving ourselves, the peace that we seek. This is an opportunity for giving ourselves the peace that we seek, simply by letting go and understanding that sins are nothing more than moments of lack of love, which means they are moments of separation, which means they are cries for help. And so the only answer is love. Okay. So let us go to the Channelings of Jesus by Tina Spalding. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. This is an upside down world, is it not? Not everything that you have been taught is good for you. Everything that tastes good is bad for you. One of the greatest lessons of all is that when you project things, when you put things outside your mind, seemingly through practice of projection, they have not really left your mind. So the characters in your play that you interact with, the people that you call enemies and have resentments against, they trigger your inner transformation. They are your salvation. Why? Because they are not separate from you. They are a part of your mind that looks as if it's outside of you. So when you attack them, you attack yourself. When you give them forgiveness, you forgive yourself. It is a difficult concept for those of you not taught deeply about the laws of reality that exist in A Course in Miracles. If you do these lessons but do not study the text, you become more confused as we go along. We want to emphasize this at this time because the lessons and the transformation of mind that the lessons bring you are based on the theoretical understanding of the text. There are going to be shifts and changes in your consciousness that, if you do not understand what they are based on, might frighten you. Instead of gratitude for the transformations that take place in your consciousness, you might feel fear because you do not understand the principles these lessons are based on. For those of you who have not yet bought the book, today is the day you need to buy the book and follow along with the text for these lessons. Today is the day you need to begin reading the text, even if you don't understand it. The sophisticated language is designed to transform the inner layers of your consciousness, both your conscious mind and the subconscious aspects you are completely unaware of until they are triggered and come into your conscious mind. For example, perhaps you have unresolved issues with your mother. You live far away from her, and you don't talk to her anymore. You might meet people who remind you of the unforgiven aspects of your thoughts, beliefs, and ideas about her. It might be somebody you work with that has a similar personality type, or speaks in the same kind of language, or values the same sorts of things. Your unforgiveness of your mother will be brought to the surface of your conscious mind for your assessment. If you do not understand what's going on here, you will dislike the person who has triggered these old and unforgiven aspects. You think you do not like them, and that you should stay away from them. On the contrary, this person is sent to you as a gift to bring up your unresolved and unforgiven aspects concerning your mother. This is a very important principle for you to understand. When people bring up in you pain that already exists in your mind, it is not your job to attack them, but to give thanks. It is your job to forgive them so that you also receive the gift of forgiveness and some of the dark shadows lurking in your unconscious mind are revealed. These principles are important for you to understand at this stage because you begin to experience the deeper, darker realms of your consciousness as we move further into these lessons. So what we want you to really understand that, and as we said, for those of you who do not follow along with the text, we would like you to do that now. So purchase your book. Ask to borrow a friend's copy if it's not being used, but we recommend you have your own text. At this point, do not belabor which text you buy. The lessons are all the same. If there are slight variations, it does not matter. A word here and a word there does not matter. Your forgiveness practice transforms everything. It is not the word on the typed page. There are many discussions about the different texts. We want you to understand there are differences. Editing has happened in these texts. Just choose the book that comes your way, the one that appeals to you. We want you to do the lessons. For those of you who have not yet begun to study the text, now is the time. You do not want to get left behind. You do not want to become confused because you do not understand the principles on which this most powerful, transformative lessons are based. I am the one that you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. And that is the end of Tina Spalding's channelings of Jesus. We don't want to be unforgiving to ourselves. We don't want to miss the opportunity to heal all of those old wounds and to understand that when someone just rubs you the wrong way, often there is something that is triggered within you that is an old wound that you have yet not forgiven. Regarding the beginning to read the texts, I am offering that if you are interested in learning the Course in Miracles and reading through the texts, I do offer a couple of classes, and I'm always open to starting new classes that are based on donation only. And you are welcome to contact me and we can see if there is a class that we can put you into or start so that you can begin studying the text of the Course in Miracles and have the opportunity to process that so that it is more understandable and feels less confusing to you. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.